The passage that we're reading this morning from A Course in Miracles is called The Function of Time. This is one of my favorites. The first time I read it, I think I was stuck on it for like a week or so. But it really makes you think of what the nature of depression is with mental health and just being stuck in life. So I'm going to skip around a little bit, but I'm going to read you guys my favorite pieces. It says the ego, and the book is based off of you're either in ego or in love. You're either in tension, a state of hell on earth, or heaven on earth relaxation. The ego has a strange notion of time, and it is with this notion that your questioning might well begin. The ego invests heavily in the past, and in the end believes that the past is the only aspect of time that is meaningful. Remember that its emphasis on guilt enables it to ensure its continuity by making the future like the past, and thus avoiding the present. By the notion of paying for the past in the future, the past becomes the determiner of the future, making them continuous without an intervening present. For the ego regards the present only as a brief transition to the future, in which it brings the past to the future by interpreting the present in past terms. Now has no meaning to the ego. The present merely reminds it of past hurts, and it reacts to the present as if it were the past. The ego cannot tolerate release from the past, and although the past is over, the ego tries to preserve its image by responding as if it were present. It dictates your reactions to those you meet in the present from a past reference point, obscuring their present reality. In effect, if you follow the ego's dictates, you will react to your brother as though he were someone else, and this will surely prevent you from recognizing him as he is. And you will receive messages from him out of your own past, because by making it real in the present, you are forbidding yourself to let it go. You thus deny yourself the message of release that every brother offers you now. The shadowy figures from the past are precisely what you must escape. They are not real, and have no hold over you unless you bring them with you. They carry the spots of pain in your mind, directing you to attack in the present in retaliation for a past that is no more. And this decision is one of future pain. Unless you learn that past pain is an illusion, you are choosing a future of illusions and losing the many opportunities you could find for release in the present. The ego would preserve your nightmares and prevent you from awakening and understanding they are past. Would you recognize a holy encounter if you are merely perceiving it as meeting with your own past? For you would be meeting no one, and the sharing of salvation which makes the encounter holy would be excluded from your sight. The light teaches you that you always meet yourself, and the encounter is holy because you are. The ego teaches that you always encounter your past, and because your dreams were not holy, the future cannot be, and the present is without meaning. And I love that. The first time I read it, I was like stuck on it, because it's kind of like reactions from, like any negative encounters you would ever have is just a belief that you're encountering something from the past. And I think such an important part of the whole book is based on forgiveness. So it said in the passage, it was like believing that you could have made mistakes in your past is keeping you stuck. So I've made a video this past week. I want to invite you again to go to the most uncomfortable situations that you've experienced in your life, whether that was with a person or a job situation or anything that you could have encountered, your family, anything that made you super uncomfortable and angry or frustrated, all those really anxious emotions, and to go and feel that and to let it go, and also like give yourself from that time period a hug and forgiveness. Like, I forgive you for, personally myself, I had a really difficult time. I was working at this job a few years ago now. Time is passing so fast. And I stayed because I had this belief that things were going to change. Like, I stayed for months longer than I wanted to. And it was like, in that time period, because I didn't value myself enough to leave, it was like I was building up all this self-betrayal and, wanting to believe that my boss and that particular person would magically wake up and, fix things. And sometimes it's like, I read this little poem this morning, and I'll just share it with you. But sometimes people are just in the places that they're at, and that's okay. But this one is, don't touch the bruises, they're not yours to heal. You can't force someone into their heart, it's something they have to feel. You can open the blinds, you can spread out your seeds, you can pray for them at a distance, visualizing how they will succeed, but no amount of breath work can override these poor decisions, and no amount of exercise can render your heart into submission. What will it take, a category 5, to rip it all apart, shrug your shoulders, and say you tried? I often think of that, how bad do your symptoms have to get, or does your happiness and frustration have to get for you to make a change? Like, I was in that situation and I was so frustrated until I literally was so angry with myself. I didn't even know where to put all that anger, and it just built up inside me. And, you deserve better than that. And I go back towards myself during that particular time period. I go back to myself the day I knew I will walk away in the future. And I say, it's okay. Like, it's really okay. Every situation that you overextended your stay or you tried to fix, you did the best that you could with what you had at that time period. Just like your parents did with you when you were younger. Everybody just does the best that they can. And sometimes the only thing you can do is let go of people. And I have a really bad case of twin syndrome. I'm a twin, and I hate letting go. I build really, I am very incredibly open with people. I like to talk to people's souls. I don't want to talk to who you are on the surface. I don't care about that. I don't care about what you look like. I care about who you are as a person. There's a line in a song that I've been listening to lately. Who is the spirit behind the mask, the spirit behind the face? And, so like my twin relationship, I enjoy and deeply value close relationships that are very open and honest. And so because of that too, I, look long term for relationships. Like me and my sister, I'm a twin, 29 years and growing. I think I see so much of the beauty of holding relationships for long periods of time, and something that I've had to get used to is that, they have that saying, people come for reasons and for seasons, and that's been a big journey of mine in learning to let go when it's time to let go, and not overextending myself for the sake of, trying to fix someone or trying to wake them up. And really just overextending myself is not love, what I've realized. So I hope that you get something from this. I hope that you read A Course in Miracles. I just love that book so much. I do change some of the words when I'm reading for you guys, because I typically change it from light to darkness, and I relate it to the biochemistry. So that's how I'm able to understand it, what it's saying. But I think it's a beautiful book, and it finds you at the perfect time. So if you have the opportunity to look for it, go on and do it. Just remember that when you look in the mirror, you do not see yourself accurately. And I wish so much that you would close your eyes and remember how beautiful and intelligent you are. We typically doubt ourselves. And when we doubt ourselves because, you can't doubt yourself without doubting your own intelligence. And this is like incredible the processes that are happening. We have trillions and trillions of cells, and mitochondria, they can replicate themselves. They have their own DNA. There's even more of them. It's such a beautiful process. What's happening beyond the surface? What is the spirit behind the mask? Look beyond the mask. Anyway, I'm gonna go. I do love you so much, and I will catch you later.